So sad.
I think there's other options.
Doing a decision like this will force more students with less staff.
This is a permanent solution, I will say, for a temporary problem.
That is just some of the frustration boiling over at last night's Wichita School Board meeting. Despite some last-ditch pleas, the Wichita School Board voting to close 6 schools. It's a decision that will impact 2,200 students.
The district saying this is part of ongoing budget cuts it is looking to make for next school year. Questions about the financial situation prompting a lot of questions, and something those opposed to the school closings talked a lot about. Sean logging today, taking a look at the numbers and seeing how the math is adding up.
Like Rachel, the district going into a lot of detail last night, explaining what led it here, that it had to move to the decision to close schools like Park and where it still needs to go. The district is looking at a 3-phase budget cut, now 2 down, 1 to go. As the big decision went before the school board.
Government accountability, fiscal oversight.
Some people speaking out against Wichita School District's building closure plan, referring to the $42 million hole the district is trying to fill.
Close the school down where your budget suddenly work out? Will we no longer be missing the millions of dollars for the rest of the schools?
The district's chief financial officer, Susan Willis, walking through the financial picture.
The revenue side of our budget, we have really limited options related to any additional tax effort.
Most of the district's funding comes through state aid. That is determined by the number of students in the building on September 20th. For next school year, Wichita Schools anticipates revenue at $575.9 million. Expenditures, though, that will top $617.6 million. The difference, that's $42 million.
It is more than a financial challenge. It is enrollment loss. It is staffing.
Deferred maintenance and the loss of federal funds part of that picture. Already $9 million has been cut from non-school budgets, positions eliminated, and other reductions. With the closing of 6 schools, it represents another $16 million. Willis says the selection was partially determined by having the greatest simulated savings.
Looking at the surrounding schools and determining who had capacity, that all of that had to be looked at in every scenario that we ran. What does this do to staffing?
Another $16.8 million still needs to be cut. Also, the district says it has about $264.5 million in cash reserves, but most of that is restricted funding. About $31.6 million of that, though, is not tied up, but that's considered for emergencies. There's some additional cash reserves for special education and other programs that could come into play during this next round of budget cuts. The district says that declining enrollment has been an issue the last few school years, but major cuts have been avoided because of the use and availability of some federal funding.
Thanks, Sean. So what's next? We look at what next school year will look like for these students and parents impacted by the closures. That includes what transportation will look like. That's coming up on 12 News.